Imagine this, it's late. Your room is lit only by your screen. There's a book about massive success on your desk. Your to-do list looks like a graveyard of half-started habits, abandoned routines, productivity apps you swore would change everything. You've tried to reinvent yourself so many times you've lost count. New year, new you, new notebook, new system, new plan, same exhaustion. You promise yourself, from tomorrow I'll wake up at 5. From Monday I'll eat clean. From next month, I'll be a different person. And for a day or two, maybe you do. Then life hits, work, family, mood, random chaos. And suddenly you're back where you started, except now you feel worse because you think you failed again. Just sit with that for a second, not to beat yourself up, just to notice it. Now picture something completely different. Instead of flipping your whole life overnight, imagine this. You decide, I'm not going to change everything. I'm just going to change one tiny thing by 1%. Not 5 a.m., just 10 minutes earlier than usual. Not a perfect diet, just one meal chosen with care. Not 50 pages of reading, just one page, every night, no matter what. So small it almost doesn't feel like it counts. No one claps, no one calls it impressive. It doesn't look like a glow up. It's quiet, invisible, almost boring. But that's the point, because there's a philosophy that says real change doesn't arrive like thunder. It grows like moss. In Japan, there's a word for this, Kaizen. Kai, change, Zen, for the better. Not change your life in 7 days. Not be unrecognizable in 3 months. Just change for the better. Tiny, steady improvements, repeated again and again. Instead of, I must become a whole new person, Kaizen whispers, stay who you are, but walk one step wiser today than yesterday. Instead of, I failed because I broke my streak, Kaizen says, you're human, begin again, 1% gentler, 1% smarter. Instead of, I'm so far behind, Kaizen reminds you, you're not in a race, you're a craft, and the craft is you. So what is Kaizen really? At its heart, it's a quiet promise. I will keep making small, sincere improvements again and again for as long as I'm alive. 3 things matter here. Small, the step is tiny, almost embarrassingly small. Sincere, not for show, not for clout, but because you genuinely care. Ongoing, no finish line, no, now I'm perfect, just a path. The world screams, if you're not doing something big, you're failing. Kaizen looks at you and says, you're not broken, you're unfinished. You're allowed to improve slowly. It isn't hustle, it isn't perfectionism. Hustle culture says, do more, push harder, never stop. Kaizen says, do less, but better. Remove friction, suffer less. Perfectionism says, you are not enough until you reach some imaginary ideal. Kaizen says, you are enough to start from where you are. It doesn't punish you for flaws. It just notices them and asks, okay, how can we make this a little better? To understand where this came from, don't start in a boardroom. Start in an old temple in the mountains, morning mist, stone path, a young monk sweeping leaves. Every day, same path, same broom, same stones. From the outside, it looks pointless. The dust always comes back. One day the monk snaps, Master, what's the point? I sweep, and tomorrow it's dirty again. It feels like I'm failing every day. The old master smiles. You think the purpose of sweeping is to have a floor that never gets dirty. The floor will always get dusty again. The purpose of sweeping is to learn to meet the dust with a calm heart. The monk changes nothing dramatic. He just complains a little less. He pays attention to how he holds the broom, how his feet move, how the light falls on the floor. Years later, visitors say, watching him sweep feels like meditation. That wasn't magic, that was Kaizen. Not I will never see dust again, but when the dust comes, I'll meet it a little better than yesterday. In another corner of Japan, a swordsmith heats and folds steel. He forges blades for decades. When an apprentice asks, "Sensei, when did you make your greatest sword?" The old man says, "I don't know. Every sword I forged improved the next one by a hair I could barely see." A blade chipped? He adjusts the carbon. A warrior says the grip is heavy? He shaves the hilt next time. A sword bends? He shifts the cooling by a few seconds. No single blade is the miracle. The miracle is the direction of his life. Always a little better, never finished. That's Kaizen, letting every mistake become a microscopic teacher, refusing to say good enough forever. An old tea master, movements so smooth they seem perfect. A student asks, "After all these years, what's left for you to improve?" The master repeats just one part of the ritual, placing the bowl. Once the old way, then again almost the same, except one extra soft breath. The bowl lands a little gentler. The gesture feels less like a move, more like an offering. "Did you see?" he asks. "It looked the same," the student says. The master smiles. "To others, my improvement is invisible, but I can feel it, and that is enough to keep going." Sometimes Kaizen doesn't give you applause. It just gives you a deeper sense of rightness inside, and that has to be enough. Under all these stories, there's a way of seeing the world. First, everything is changing. Your habits, your moods, your relationships, your beliefs, always in motion. Kaizen sees that as good news. If nothing is fixed, then your bad habits are not destiny. Your current situation is not a prison. Your identity isn't concrete, it's wet clay. You don't have to smash your old self to become new. You just gently nudge the direction. Second, you are always a student. No final version of you that never messes up. The master potter still experiments, the musician still practices scales slowly, the wise person still asks, "How can I handle this a little better next time?" That humility keeps you open to feedback, to growth. Improvement stops threatening your ego and starts feeding it. Third, respect. In many Japanese crafts, people treat everything with care. The chef wipes and sharpens the knife. The calligrapher arranges brush and ink. The worker checks their station before and after the shift. Not out of obsession, but respect. Kaizen turns that into a way of living. If something is part of my life, including me, I will treat it with care. Organizing your desk, simplifying your routine, protecting your energy, these aren't just productivity hacks. They're acts of respect. Fourth, patience. We worship speed. How fast did you grow? How quickly did you transform? Kaizen plays a longer game. Can you keep improving, even slowly, for years? Like a gardener, you don't yell at the seed. You water, wait, adjust, trust. 1% today, 1% tomorrow, repeat. One day you look back and the you who felt stuck feels like a different lifetime. You didn't teleport, you walked. So how do you actually live this? Think of Kaizen working on 3 layers. On the surface, your actions. Tiny upgrades like 5 more minutes of reading, 1 glass of water, 1 honest conversation. Under the surface, your systems, small tweaks to how your life is arranged. Book on your pillow, so you must see it before sleep. Shoes by the door. Workspace cleared, so starting is easier than scrolling. At the core, your view of yourself. You stop asking, "How do I transform overnight?" and start asking, "What kind of person am I slowly becoming through my 1% choices?" At that level, Kaizen isn't about habits, it's about identity. I am someone who keeps gently improving. 1 word and a sentence, a 3-minute audio, reviewing the same dialogue again. At first it's nothing. Then suddenly one day you catch yourself thinking in that language for a moment. That wasn't a miracle, that was hundreds of tiny deposits. Relationships, instead of demanding, "We must stop fighting," Kaizen asks, "In this relationship, what is one small thing I can improve?" Let them finish 1 sentence before you interrupt. Put the phone face down when they speak. Say 1 kind sentence you usually hold back. Over time, the emotional climate shifts. Your 1% invites theirs, and inside you, in your mind. Now bring it into an ordinary day. You sit at your desk, open email, open chat, open 5 tabs. Your brain scatters. Old you says, I need a whole new productivity system. Kaizen says, tomorrow, before you open anything, spend 30 seconds writing, top one thing for today is a chase. That's it. Do that every day. In a week, you feel a bit less scattered. In a month, you feel more intentional or learning. Instead of studying hard for 3 days and quitting, you learn a language for 5 to 10 minutes a day. You may be used to hearing, I'm stupid. I always mess up. I'll never change. You don't erase those overnight. You Kaizen them. First step, notice. I just called myself lazy. Next step, add one word. I messed up, but I'm learning. I'm behind, but I'm still moving. That was stupid, but at least I'm trying. That but is a tiny doorway out of self-hatred. Same feelings, 1% kinder response. That's inner Kaizen. When pain comes, I don't abandon myself. I improve just a little how I respond. There are some shadows though. Continuous improvement can twist into, I'm never enough. I should always be doing more. Rest is weakness. That isn't Kaizen. That's your inner critic wearing a Japanese word as a mask. Real Kaizen says, small is still real. Direction matters more than speed. You're allowed to have slow days. Sometimes companies twist Kaizen too. Always produce more, hit higher numbers, never slow down. That's not Kaizen. That's pressure. Healthy Kaizen asks, how do we make the work easier, smoother, less exhausting? Where is the system failing you? And there's the obsession trap, turning your life into a spreadsheet. Every step tracked, every minute optimized, nothing allowed to just be. But the tea master didn't time his ceremony with a stopwatch. The swordsmith wasn't building a brand. Their improvements came from love, not fear. So you need guardrails. Check your inner tone. Do you sound like a supportive coach or a disappointed parent? Define enough for today so you're not endlessly chasing more. Keep a few parts of life sacred, unoptimized, just for joy. And regularly ask, is this still helping me or is this becoming another cage? Because Kaizen isn't a contract, it's a relationship. You're allowed to renegotiate. Now zoom out. Most of the projects you've started, diets, routines, study plans, had a dramatic beginning and a quiet end. Kaizen is different. It's not a challenge, not a phase. It's a way of traveling through your whole life. The world treats you like a startup. Scale fast, show results, pivot, rebrand. Kaizen treats you like a craft. You're more like a bowl you keep shaping, a garden you keep tending, a melody you keep rewriting, a table you keep sanding and oiling. Some days you add, some days you repair, some days you just keep it from falling apart. If you keep returning with even a little care, you will change shape. A week of Kaizen feels like nothing. A year of Kaizen and your mornings, your conflicts, your focus are quietly different. 10 years of Kaizen and your whole way of being, your habits, your emotions, your relationships is on a different shore. Not because of one heroic program, but because you didn't stop walking. You will break the chain. You will disappear for a while. You'll have seasons of grief, burnout, survival. Perfectionism says, you broke the streak. It's over. Kaizen says, of course you broke the streak. You're human. Begin again, a little wiser. Maybe the most important Kaizen skill is this: the ability to return without hating yourself. To say, yes, I slipped. Yes, I'm messy. And yes, I'm still allowed to take the next small step. Over time, Kaizen stops being something you do and becomes someone you are. Not someone who tries and fails, but someone who keeps refining. So we're back in that room. Same screen, same unfinished journal, same half-read books. The old pattern says, from tomorrow, everything will be different, and writes a huge list. Wake up early, no junk food, 2 hours of study, no social media, work out daily, meditate, journal, fix relationships, sleep early. You feel a rush, you feel powerful for 24, maybe 72 hours. Then the wave crashes, you miss a day, then another, the guilt returns, you close the notebook. Same movie, different year, but there's another version of you in that room now. Same tired face, same life, new word, Kaizen. This version doesn't vow to fix everything. They pick one area: mornings, health, inner voice, studies, relationships, just one. And they say, for the next 7 days, I will only focus on improving this one thing by 1%. They write one tiny step. After I wake up, I'll drink 1 glass of water. Before I sleep, I'll read 1 page. When I insult myself in my head, I'll add, but I'm learning. Once a day, I'll send 1 honest, kind message. The next day, they do it. It takes 30 seconds, maybe 5 minutes. That's it. No fireworks. But something subtle shifts. They kept a promise to themselves. They do it again and again. Some days they miss. They don't call themselves a failure. They begin again. From the outside, nothing dramatic. From the inside, the story, I never stick to anything, slowly turns into, I can stick to something small, and small is real. Weeks pass, the habit grows roots. Months pass, they add another 1%. Years pass, their life bends into a new shape, not through explosions, but through countless tiny, nearly invisible choices. That is Kaizen. So here's the invitation. Right now, pick one area of your life: work, health, learning, relationships, inner world. Pick one 1% action you can do every day for the next 7 days. Make it so small it feels almost silly. So clear you can't confuse it. Write it down. That sentence is your seed. Because from here on, the real question isn't, can I transform my life overnight? It's, am I willing to move 1% closer today and 1% again tomorrow? If your answer is even a shaky yes, then you're already on the Kaizen path.